My name is Robin, Jesse Gislain, and I'm a photographer, a creative director, and an aspiring filmmaker. I've been doing creative work, photography work for as long as I can remember, but professionally, it's going to be 5 years now. I started from a very young age doing anything that's artistic, really. I started from being a painter to drawing and all those little artistic side that I gained, especially from my parents. Growing up in a household where my dad made a rule that whoever lives in his household has to learn how to play an instrument because my dad is a very good artist. He does music, which is beautiful to hear. And my mom, she always has a talent to sing, even though she didn't take time to explore it. Something a little bit different because of our culture, where she had to focus on actually having a career that was paying at the time, even though now everything is all good. But I grew up mostly in that kind of like household where anything creative was encouraged. So I got a chance to pick up painting brushes, some drawing pencils, learning a lot of musical instruments. So at some point I picked up a camera, and my mom has always told me, you have a nice eye for pictures. Anytime I would take some pictures on her little Nokia and they would turn out very pixelated, but she would still appreciate them. So she made me feel very comfortable with actually exploring a lot of things, which is why I think it played a big role in me becoming a photographer at some point. The biggest challenge that I kind of faced when starting the photography career has always been mostly gear. Gear, I think, was the very first thing because we live in an era where new gear drops every Friday. And we get to see, oh, some people who have immediate access to it, influencers. We have the people who have the money to access that kind of stuff, and I personally didn't have a lot of money, so and I was saving up to even just pay my rent or even just to get my first little camera, which was 2019, and that itself is like a huge challenge because you have that pressure to always want to, oh, I want to create that image, but I'm not sure if I can attain it with the equipment that I have. But now I learned to scale back a little bit and understand that it's whatever tool you have that's going to be able to create a lot of beautiful stuff. It can be your phone, it can be a little camera, entry level. It's going to be able to create something. It may not be the same exact quality, but you have the basic understanding, and that's going to allow you to create a whole lot of stuff. And it's not going to create a barrier between you and your creative process. I think that's one of the biggest challenge that I faced as starting as a photographer, but I've learned to overcome it now. I think the representation of black people in photography or black photographers in general is something that's gonna need a lot of work and improvement because if we look at the current state we're in, or even where we are in the community that we're in, we don't have that many black photographers. And sometimes to be a black photographer, even to be a black artist, you have to kind of like sometimes work a little bit harder to represent yourself or to gain the trust of some people. You have to actually put in a little bit more work. And now to be representation of black people in general photography space, it's as low as well because you most of these photographers, when you check their catalog, you can barely see anybody that's black. Sometimes it may not be because it's out of a prejudice, but sometimes it may not be. It may be a preference for them. It's like getting the actual conscious of being like, oh, let me step out of my boundaries and learn this new culture, meet these new people, and learn how to color grade their skin, how to properly represent them whenever I'm taking a portrait. I think that's something that a lot of people need to work on, but also being inclusive in allowing black photographers to shine. Because I know so many black photographers who started and stopped, not because they lacked the creative juices or they lacked the hustle or they liked anything, but they didn't lack any of that. But just because they felt unseen or sometimes even unconsidered whenever any type of work will be coming. So I feel appreciative of the work I'm getting, but I would love, love, love if I would see much more brothers and sisters getting as much work. My work is always going to be around people. I love people. I love the story that people tell, especially when you get a chance to look in their eyes a little bit more, when you get a chance to have a little discussion and sneak in some portraits every now and then. You get a chance to see another side to some people, which other people may not see because they're not invested in conversation for such an extended period of time or with a specific goal in mind. So I create a lot of portraiture editorial work, even though I create a lot of commercial work. But like to say, the commercial work funds the passion projects. So I get to create a lot of more stuff that I'm really enjoying. So a lot of portraits, a lot of people. I am Jesse. Thank you.